Okay, so based on the new hole locations and the PC zone boards, I was actually able to brace these um, pretty easily, and the stack up ended up working out perfect, so that the braces are just half inch by half inch, 3/16 stainless steel bar stock with some tapped holes drilled in. So something that B&M can easily produce. So just gonna walk through how this all goes together real quick. Um, the first step, of course, is putting this handle on because the hardware is going to get blocked off as soon as the everything else starts going in. Next step, let me explode this out to show you what we have here. Put together a Teflon kind of insulated shim that just mimics this PC board, all the cutouts and everything. And so it just fits, it sandwiches in between the PCB and the plate here. It's a 332-inch thick Teflon. McMaster Carr sources that out. They actually source it in a black Teflon, which is what I'm going to call out on this. And so that'll just sandwich between the two just to make sure that there's no contact between the metal here and some of the traces on the board. And then we have some Teflon shims here, same thing, 332-inch thick. And then these half-inch by half-inch 3/16 stainless steel stiffeners. And so what we'll do is there'll be hardware that runs through the backside of this plate, through the Teflon, through the board, through the shim, and then threads directly into the stiffener at these 4 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll have hardware coming through on the backside. And then the rest of the points, you'll have hardware coming through these different through holes down here, going through your Teflon shim, going through your PCB, and then securing with a nut washer. Of course, using the insulated washers on there. And so when you put it all together, that'll all secure there, one solid component. So this board is going to be very rigid in its setup because it is secured directly to the sliding brace here. And so that's we're not going to have to worry about this one at all. The next step is this little brace that goes on top here. This is the standoff for the other PCB. And so it will attach to our back plate via some hardware going through. Very simple right there. Then the last step is we're going to actually install the PCB and explode this out. So what we have here, once again, the Teflon shims that attach on the other side of our half-inch by half-inch stiffener. And then we've got some Teflon shims, once again, same thickness and everything, that just mirrors the pattern on this bracket to create a sandwich in between this stainless steel bracket and this PCB. And so what will happen here is as this is secured, you'll just have hardware going through the PCB, through the Teflon, and threaded into our half-inch by half-inch stiffener. And then same sort of thing here, hardware through the PCB, through the Teflon, and then threaded directly into our brace there. So what we end up with is we had our same setup as before, except we now have a solid piece of bar stock going through to stiffen up this board in relation to this board, and that bar stock being secured directly to this plate. And then we have a similar piece of bar stock right down here, securing from this board to this board. So I think this will make everything as rigid as we need it to be. We could always add another piece down here if we really wanted to, but I really don't think it's going to be necessary. I think this is going to provide us everything we need. It's 832 hardware going through everything. And so I think this is going to solve it. The beauty of this is this component, this is all just mirrored over to the other board as well as all the Teflon shims. All of these are just produced a second time for the other zone board assembly. And so that really handles it. The only other thing that had to be done here is because this is 332 inches thick, that brought the boards out by 332 inches, so I had to reduce this flange right here by 332 inches to bring it back, just so that we still have our alignment. But other than that, all pretty straightforward. I originally was going to form this out of a piece of sheet metal to the height necessary, but it just ended up working out perfect that with the two Teflon shims and the tolerances that they have on their thickness, that this little half-inch block could be made. And like I said, should be very, very simple to produce. Just a half-inch by half-inch stainless steel piece of material, and then an 832 inch or 832 threaded hole going all the way through that things are going to directly thread into. So take a look at that. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I think this is about the simplest um, setup we could do. If we feel like we need to remove some mass from this block, then I can slot out some areas. But I was just trying to produce that part for as cheap as possible and really just reduce the amount of machining that we're going to have to do on that 3/16 stainless steel material.